One strategy that works really well
to keeping a student around.
So we can look at what it is that is influencing that student to leave.
Hey everyone, in this video we're going to talk all about ideas to help boost retention at your school. And what we've done is we've interviewed some of our top music school coaches from our Build a Music School membership, and these are successful music school owners from all around the world. And they've built these massive schools, and it's anything from 3 to 500 or 1,200 to 2,000 and even 5,000 students and above. And we're going to hear their amazing ideas. And if you stick around until the end, I'm going to give you my best idea that helped us increase our retention rate and save us a bunch of money in marketing and advertising. And the best part is it's totally free. So this is a really, really good one. Get ready with some pen and paper. Take down all these ideas and make sure to stick around until the end so you can hear some of my best ideas. But first, let's hear from the coaches first. Let's head on over.
Hey, I'm Johnny, one of the Build a Music School coaches and founder of the BAM Squad. I have an idea for you guys I want to share around this topic of never losing a student again and helping to retain as many as possible. And you can find this idea in Module 2 in our Build a Music School library in depth. So you can grab a free trial link down below. But this topic here is around just having an exit survey for all of your students. When we were trying to grow our school, as we grew, to large numbers, 500, 1,000 students, 1,500, 2,000, the more people you have, the more that also leave as well. And so if you have, let's say, 5% of people that leave, well, if 5% of 100 students, well, that's only 5. Okay, that's okay. But 5% of 1,000 students is 50, and 5% of 2,000 students is 100. And so you've really got to start getting smart around, hey, how do we retain students? And so one of the simplest things you need to do is figure out, well, why are they leaving? And so having a little exit survey helps you identify the reasons people are leaving, and then often you get an answer or specific reason that you can actually then counteract, fix, make an offer for them to stick around, do some deal, fix something that went wrong. And so if you don't collect that information in detail, you can never have the opportunity to fix it and see the problems. So it's really important to have that kind of exit survey set up. Now, the other part with that is that people often don't like to complain, right? So for instance, many people will go to a restaurant, the food wasn't that good, the waiter comes around at the end, says, hey, how was the food? Even if they hated it, they still say, yeah, great, because they just don't want to have to deal with that. They then never go back to that restaurant. So the same thing can apply with your music school. And so you have to ask questions in the right way to actually get the answers from people so that you can actually try turn it around, retain them, or to go fix the problem. So for instance, you want to start with a few questions. Now, I mentioned Module 2 in our section, which is all around retention. No, it's in Module 4. Sorry, Module 4 in our Build a Music School library, all around retention. We call it fixing the back door of your music school. There's a whole bunch of stuff on this topic, and you'll see exactly what we do, plus lots of other ideas. So go grab that for free. We'll put a free trial link down below. But the questions that you want to ask are things like, hey, what did you love about learning with us? What could we have improved on? Are you planning to come back in the future? And then you're going to get hopefully an honest answer with that. And then the final thing you want to ask is, what reason are you cancelling lessons for today? And then you want to also tell them in that question, be as honest as possible. You won't hurt our feelings, don't worry. Something like that, because you want them to tell you honestly. And then if you've got some really messy situation, well, then you need to walk towards the mess and fix it. So that's ways that you can kind of prime people to answer some softball questions, and then prime them to answer the real honest question. And then it's up to you to actually implement the phone calls, the emails, getting in touch with the person to go, hey, I noticed you're leaving because of this reason. I was wondering if you would be open to us, trying again with a different teacher, or, this deal to come back, or if we rearrange this for you, you try fix the problem. So there's lots more things I could say on this topic, but we go into detail in that fixing the backdoor section. There's all sorts of creative things that you can do that work. So go check that out in Module 4. But enjoy the rest of the amazing ideas from everyone.
Retention matters, right? Okay, so my best tip for retention actually has to do with building your culture to be a culture where transition is okay, where it's okay to have a different instructor there, where it's okay to have other people kind of in and out of the classes. I have heard time after time from music studios, possibly like yourself, where they're setting up students with one individual teacher. And while we love the fact that individual teachers build these mentor relationships with their students, what happens so often is that, well, the worst case scenario is that that teacher builds up such a great relationship with the students that they go and start their own thing and take them all from you. And we don't want that for you. So, or if that something happens or you need a substitute at some point, then that family is feeling like they're getting a lesser model, and or maybe your best instructor is at a premium rate, and then you have this weird, like, we charge lessons and they're different and whatever. Let's just get rid of that. So by building a culture in which you are hiring instructors that have multiple instrument skills. That's actually on my, like, I don't hire people that can't teach more than one instrument, because what that does is in our groups, they can kind of help each other and sub. One of my instructors is actually on a 2-week tour in South America right now. We're excited to support his dreams, but it means that there are other people stepping in for him. But because we have built a culture of, you know what, all of our instructors are incredible. And so if you're not with Mr. Dylan, it's okay to be with Mr. Darren or with Miss Ruthie or, whomever. And so trying to consistently build a culture that is okay with transition and okay with having people substitute, not cancel just because a teacher can't make it, or even cancel because a teacher is late. If you've got other instructors that are there, that gets a little bit logistically weird. But bottom line, where they're like, oh, you're telling me that all of the instructors here are awesome, and this week I might have this person, and this week I might have this person. They can continue to build those mentor relationships, but they also get a different perspective. And if their instructor moves on, then they're like, oh, well, that's okay, because I had Miss Amy the other day, or subbing one time, and they're less likely to quit because of any transition in your team.
One of the things that's really important about getting a student to stay for years instead of months is understanding that the first 90 days of a student's experience with your school is critical. Some companies call this new client onboarding. And it's one of those things that a lot of people miss because they assume that once the first transaction is done and the student is into the school, then they can just forget about them and focus on getting new students after that to come in. But the problem is people need to feel like their decision was a good one. Their decision to join your school was a good one. And so one of the things that you can do is you can just educate them a little bit. We would send out messages and emails to them, just kind of teaching them how to interact with their child. So like an email to a parent, for example, just saying, here's how you can help your student practice. Here are some tips in between the lessons to help them be successful at home. Getting a quick win is a really important thing to keeping a student around for a longer period of time. But just remember, the key is making the first 90 days of their experience with your music school absolutely amazing.
One strategy that works really well to retain students in your music school is to deliver feedback. If you're a solo teacher, that feedback can just be at the last couple minutes of every class where you go out into the lobby, or perhaps you can walk the student to the car and give them just a quick update on what's going well, what you're working on, and what you'll be doing in the next class. It's just so important for parents to know that they are progressing week after week, and communicating feedback consistently will change your retention. If you're a multi-teacher studio and you have more than just you teaching students, you may want to come up with a system that allows for that consistent feedback to be delivered, maybe via email, or also, just having a bustling lobby where every teacher exits the classroom a few minutes prior to the end of the lesson to communicate with the parent and share a little bit of feedback about how things are going in class.
All right, so one student retention strategy that we use, there are many of them, and there's not one, one amazing one. If you just do that one, then you're gonna always keep that student, but you've got to do several along that path to keep them there. A lot of touch points, right, with your current students. One simple one that we do is our front desk staff, when a student walks in, greets that student by name of the student, definitely. And if they can remember the parent's name, even better, or the grandparent or guardian, whoever's bringing them in. But remembering the student's name when they come into the lobby and saying there, hey, Jack, it's great to see you today. Hey, how was your baseball game, right? Because you're going to hear them talk in the lobby. They're going to talk to your front desk staff, or if it's you at the front desk, whoever it is, if you have somebody at the front desk, really using that as a touch point. Kids just light up when you say their name, that they were valuable enough to be, remembered and recognized. And parents just feel like it's a warm, inviting place to be where, as Cheers said, everyone knows your name. So that's something that I would definitely recommend kind of imparting on your front desk. Or again, if it's you doing that for now, when those students walk in, talk to them, greet them with their name. And if you remember something about a life event going on, bringing that up and mentioning it and talking about it and questioning about it, all that stuff is just really, really important for your teachers as well, right? Obviously, hopefully your teachers are all speaking to their students by name, but just touching them on getting to know them on a personal level and touching in with them about how they're doing outside of music lessons really connects with the kids. So I always had this story where one of our music teachers, we had a student that was transferring from one music teacher to another music teacher, and it was a extremely shy student. And this student sometimes wouldn't get out of the car to come into the lobby, very rarely spoke during their lesson, but mom was really adamant that they liked it, and so wanted to keep coming. But one teacher left, and we had to have another teacher come in. And so we knew that transition would be hard. Mom knew that transition was going to be hard, so we prepped for it. And when the student came into the lobby and was sitting down, mom had already told them there's a new teacher. The new teacher came out, and the student was in a karate uniform. They just come from karate class. And this new teacher, happened to have a black belt in karate. We didn't plan that. It just happened to work out that way. And so when she saw the uniform he was wearing, she said, oh, are you doing karate? And, he kind of nodded, and she said, oh yeah, my father owns a karate studio. I've been a black belt for the past, however many years. These are the levels that I did. And you could just see that kid's face go from here to here, because he'd made a personal connection with something that he enjoyed, that, she was a black belt. And so there was some, connection there. And so then those lessons just took off, and that student was with us for 7 years. Actually, the whole family, there were 3 kids, were with us for 5 to 7 years, in and out, the 3 of them, and all 3 of them shy, actually. So just making sure that you connect with those students, whether it's a front desk or the teacher, on a personal level, not just, you're coming in for your music lessons. And I think that will definitely keep your students for longer.
One of the strategies that we employ to ensure that we're retaining as many students as possible is we never just accept a, hey, thanks for your time, we're no longer continuing with lessons. So the first thing that we do is we follow up with a template, an email template that we have in place that we personalize for each of these students. And we'll say, thanks so much for your message. We really appreciate you letting us know that Andy's no longer going to be continuing with lessons. One of our goals here at Kennedy School of Music is to ensure that we are meeting all the goals and aspirations of our students. If you have any feedback on how we could have made your experience better, please reply to this email and let us know. Of course, you're welcome back anytime. Now, we don't just leave it there. We wait for the response email. Now, usually it's, oh, look, that time doesn't work for us anymore, or Andy's not practicing and we feel like it's a lot of money to be investing if he's not going to practice at home, or he's just not really enjoying it. There's usually a reason, or it's too expensive. And then that actually gives us really good information, so we can look at what it is that is influencing that student to leave, and how can we make adjustments to ensure that they stay and experience the benefits of music education. So for example, if they're not enjoying the instrument anymore, we will invite them to join our First Beat program, and we'll usually do that free of charge, which is just a 10-week program where they can try out all the instruments. They get to meet different tutors and really get a feel for each instrument before committing. This way, they might find their dream instrument at that time, but we're also able to connect and better engage with that student during that process. If the times and days aren't working, we can absolutely work with that. We just work out a better schedule fit for them. If it's too expensive, we talk to them about what is achievable for them as a family. We all know that the cost of living has hugely increased lately. So what we do as studio owners and music tutors is we look for ways to make it achievable for everybody. So whether that's putting a payment plan in place, whether it's looking at moving to group lessons from private lessons, or whether we invite them to join our scholarship program, all of those are really great options to ensure that they don't actually have to leave, because we believe that making music should be for everybody. Everybody should be able to access music. So removing those barriers and ensuring that we can reach out and help those families is key.
Oh, thank you so much, coaches, for sharing all of that really valuable information. All right, as I promised you, I'm going to share with you some of the things that we did that helped increase our retention rate by 5 and even 6%. And because of this, it saved us loads of money in marketing and advertising. So here are 5 helpful things that we did, and they're all going to be free, that can help increase your retention. So the first one is themed weeks. So every single month, we do 1 week, we block out 1 week where we do a fun themed week where kids can do different things. Like we've had Fuzzy Buddy Week where kids can bring in their favorite stuffed animal and it gets to participate in their lesson with them. And the kids love it. It's actually one of their favorite weeks. We've done Rainbow Week where kids come dressed up in all different colors, and we've done stuff like Halloween week where you get to come in your costume. So really think through every single month, what's a theme I can apply where kids can participate, and then give them a little bonus or some sort of treat for participating. The second thing that we have done is our song of the month. And so once a month we pick a song that all the kids in the studio are working on, and they're not playing it together necessarily, but what we do is we have them learn a song at their own skill level. So let's see, we've done songs like LOV, we've done songs like I Love Rock and Roll, and what we've done is we then adjust it to whatever the skill level is of that student. So it doesn't matter if a kid is just starting lessons with us or if they've been doing lessons with us for 10 years. We can take whatever skill level they're at and then apply the music for them. So it's creating this cohesiveness in this community within our school where we're all learning the same exact song. The third thing that we have is our Bring a Friend Week, or sometimes called Buddy Week. And this is an opportunity where kids get so excited they can bring their friends, they can show off what they're working on. And in turn, those kids, the friends that they bring can come in and be like, oh my goodness, this is really cool. I actually want to participate and do this thing as well. And so not only is it an amazing tool for retention, but it's also a huge tool for marketing and bringing tons and tons of new students in. The fourth thing that we have done is called Parent Observation Week. And now listen, we have an open door policy. Parents can come in and listen and watch their student at any point. But twice a year, we run a Parent Observation Week where parents can come in and hear sort of what their student is working on. And it's a great tool for parents to go, oh, I do see the value in where my money is going because now I've seen the growth in it, or I've gotten to hear them play this song. And we even try and include the parents in it to be able to participate in that Parent Observation Week to really, again, build a bond with music and the parent, because again, it's not the student who's paying for the lessons, it's the parent. And we want them to see that their money is going to something that is like really building their kid up. And the fifth and final thing, and this is one of my favorites, is we really celebrate achievements. So at our school, we have these little Polaroid pictures where anytime a new student starts with us, we get a picture of them and then we hang them up on the wall. And then if you finish a book or finish a really hard song, our teachers will then take a picture of the student, get the Polaroid, put it up on the wall. So we have these Polaroids all over in our lobby to really celebrate all the amazing achievements that our students have done. And they feel like they belong. They feel like they're a part of something bigger than themselves. And so it's really cool to invite them into that and really be able to build this strong community within our school. And if you're thinking to yourself, Nick, all this sounds awesome, but I don't know how to implement it. Well, I've got good news for you. What I want you to do is I want you to claim the free trial in the link here. And once you claim it, you get all logged in and whatnot. I want you to head over to module 4. It's called Retention and Customer Experience. There are loads of resources in here to help you fix a retention problem, or really just enhance your retention. And so you'll find stuff in there like the themed weeks and stuff like that. And so you can find ways, how can I actually implement this into my school? So make sure you claim that free trial, click the link, jump in, and I can't wait to see you in the Build a Music School membership.